So, Coach, first of all, congratulations advancing to the Division III College World Series. Is this the first time the program has advanced this far?
No, this is actually our third time. We went in 2012 and 2014.
This season has to feel pretty special. If you look back, you didn't have any games from March 11th all the way up until the end of April. How did you spend that time? I mean, how did you keep the guys fresh and engaged?
It was difficult. Fortunately, we're able to practice at the Husky Dome over at St. Cloud State, so it's not like we're stuck in a gym. But we would give them planned days off and try to make practice a little bit more fun and upbeat than your traditional practice. And then we just kept talking to them about the fact that we can't control things like weather, and the only thing that we can control is, our approach to the season. So the kids really bought in, and once we got an opportunity to play, they took advantage.
Going into the regional tournament, you guys simply just hadn't played as many games as some of the other teams in the regional, and certainly that'll be the case at the World Series as well. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage? And the only reason I would say advantage is you look at a team like St. Cloud State, they were down to 10 healthy position players by the end of the year, whereas you guys, for the most part, appear to be pretty healthy.
Yeah, you know what? I would say it's an advantage because we are healthy. We're going to be a lot fresher than some of the other teams. And the fact that, we've played a whole bunch of baseball over a really short amount of time, it's like we're in mid-season form, whereas everybody else is going to be, it's tired and they're beat down. So, yeah, you're going to take it as an advantage. We're going to look at it as an advantage, and we're going to sell it to our guys as an advantage.
Tell me about what was working for you in the regional tournament. I know that the first game you played against Itasca was far from your best game, but a nice bounce back against Riverland the next day, and then you keep it up and beat Century.
Yeah, so I think the first game you can kind of chalk off to some nerves. Offensively, we played really well. Pitched okay, but defensively we really struggled, and some of our young infielders are freshmen, and I think they were pretty nervous. So we went into the next game with our top pitcher on the mound, and we felt like we had a good game plan going in. Riverland was a good team, but we felt like we could, if we pitched the way we're capable of, that we would shut them down. And then offensively, we did enough to beat them. And then the Century game was, one of those games that you love to be a part of as a coach, as a player, where you're down basically to your last out, and guy comes up and hits a massive 2-run home run to tie it, and then we walk it off. And so it was an exciting tournament, and it's one of those games to where it will. It's a good experience for them to take into the national tournament, because those are the kinds of games that we're going to play once we head to Tennessee.
Logan Alshire, the former Tech Tiger, had a huge weekend for you guys, especially in that final championship game against Century College, in which he doesn't give up any runs. What has he meant to the program this year?
Logan is an extremely talented baseball player. He's meant a ton. He wasn't even going to play. It was one of those things where he had to be talked into it by a former player of mine, and then actually Logan's brother talked him into it, and I ran into his parents after the game, and they just thanked me for, talking him into it. I'm like, no, it was your kid, and it was Isaac Machinsky that did it. I'm really glad that he came out, and he's made the comment many times where he's really happy that he decided to do this. And, he's been a huge part of what we've done all year, and the fact that he was able to shut down a really good Century team like that. Even though, he hadn't pitched very much coming into that game, it's just a testament to how good he is and kind of, his mentality. He's sort of got the bulldog mentality where he's going to do whatever he can to try to win a game, and he sure did that in that last game.
You mentioned you had your top pitcher going in the Riverland game, and that would be Austin Goal, I would imagine, coming from Sartell. Talk a little bit about his contributions this year.
Goal, he's been absolutely huge for us. He's pitched, he's been by far and away our most consistent pitcher. He doesn't throw the hardest on the staff. He might not even have the best stuff, but he just throws strike after strike after strike. And so for us, he's the guy that you feel good with him on the mound, because you know that he's not going to make many mistakes, and he's always going to give our guys an opportunity to compete, because he can throw 4 pitches for strikes. He can put it, he puts it on the corners really well. So he's been a huge part of our success, and he's going to throw our first game down in Tennessee.
Ethan Carlson has had a pretty interesting journey to get to this point as well. He's hitting .464 this year, and the former Apollo kid in only 13 games has made a pretty big impact.
Yeah, so Ethan originally went to Mayville out of high school. Things that work out for him there. Came back, asked about being part of the team, and I invited him to try out. And Ethan is a phenomenal athlete, and the coaches decided, hey, this kid is from St. Cloud. Really good athlete. Let's keep him around. He pretty much was a courtesy runner for us last year, and then this year we had some injuries. And one of the things we always talk to our guys about is if you get an opportunity, take advantage of that opportunity. Force us to keep you in the lineup, and that's exactly what Ethan Carlson did. He got an opportunity, and he played well enough to where the coach was like, hey, we can't take this kid out. He's doing too much for us. So he's definitely taken advantage of his opportunity.
Not along with the local kids, you've also gotten players from all around the world, and maybe the most impressive this season has been Luis Massa Ortiz, who has just put up phenomenal numbers in every category.
The kid is unbelievable. My top assistant coach and I were sitting down and talking about this, and if we were able to full schedule, just think of the stats this kid would have put up. In about 90 at-bats, Luis has 10 home runs. He's got 9 doubles, and his slugging percentage is out of this world, and he's our leadoff hitter, meaning he can run as well. I have had some scouts contact me about him, and it's well-deserved. The kid is really, really good.
So what's the timeline for your team now? The series starts this weekend. When do you hop on a plane? When do you know who you're going to play against?
I wish we were hopping on a plane. We're hopping on a bus.
Okay.
We're going to leave Wednesday early evening. We'll drive overnight, so it's a little bit better. The guys will sleep, for probably half the bus ride. We'll get down to Tennessee sometime around 1 or 2 o'clock on Thursday, and then we'll head to practice. We'll do a quick little practice, and then we'll go to check in the hotel, and then Friday the festivities sort of start. There's like a little clinic, and then each team's got an hour and 15-minute walkthrough on the game field, and then there's a banquet that they provide food for all the teams, and then games start Saturday. As far as knowing our opponent, we'll probably know tomorrow. There's actually still some regional games going on because of weather issues, so the New Jersey and the New York region are still that's still undecided as far as who's going to make it out of there. So they're finishing today, so by tomorrow I would assume we would know who we would play.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on the trip. Hopefully you come out with a few more wins, and we can see how far the Cyclones can take this.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.